Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Disco Elysium. This episode is a little tiny bit later than I had intended it to be. There's a real long version of the story I won't bore you with. The short version is, I thought I would take a nap between episodes 2 and 3 because I needed a nap. And it turns out not only did I manage to turn off my alarm without waking up all the way, I then slept for an additional 11 hours. So the good news is, I'm well rested and ready to take this thing on, and honestly, I don't feel too bad about it. You know what? Dramatically oversleeping the crime just sort of feels like it's right in our character's wheelhouse, doesn't it? I have decided, I think we're going to go ahead and put this skill point into Encyclopedia. At the risk of maybe making ourselves into an alcoholic, down on his luck, grown-up Encyclopedia Brown, I just think, first of all, this skill has been very useful for us so far, and secondly, it lets us reset 2 checks. Let's start here. So we'll put a thing in that, and now we have 6. So, it looks like the way this works is, the skill value here is not actually necessarily related to the numbers here, or the number of diamonds here. The number of diamonds here is the number of additional skill points we can gain. So like our volition is 2 and could get as high as 5, and that's capped to some degree by our psyche, and maybe we can eventually increase these? I'm not sure. I mean, there's a little plus button right here, but we don't actually seem to be able to interact with it. I don't know, whatever. We'll accept changes in clothes for now, though. 6 Encyclopedia. Now there's a couple of white checks that we could attempt again, which is probably what this is telling us. Yeah. Okay. I mean, we're right next to the monument. Let's go have a look at it. It turns out I talked to a guy about a truck and then got made fun of a whole lot by my coworkers. So now probably I can remember what's happening with this monument. Seriously though, everyone I work with is a dick. I can see why I was trying to forget. Alright, hold on a second. Let's give this one more swing. What did this king do? Very poor roll. Okay, I can see it's going to be key to our success here that we just get our skills high enough that we can win on a 5, because I roll a lot of 5s. Even by the standards of the Philippine kings, old sumptuous Philippe was known for his profligacy. Well, he blew through the whole national treasury, starting the decline of one of the penultimate century's greatest superpowers, the suzerain of Revachol. His own maladministration foreshadowed the fall of the monarchy during the anti-centennial revolution, an end to his family line, and the monarchy on the Insulindian Isola. Boy. Listen, when you pass an encyclopedia check, they're going to throw a couple of words at you. That's just how it goes. How did he manage to blow through the entire national treasury? I have a guess here that has to do with him building a lot of whimsical castles. Stories have it that he had his bedroom converted into a treasure chamber where he stored unfathomable wealth. Krugerrands, bars of gold, ornate weaponry, armor, and various chalices. Well, I mean, who among us does not have a weakness for chalices? He called it the Sol Aurum. It was obscene. There were whispers he slept on a huge pile of gold-dipped feathers like some obese dragon, instead of a bed like a normal person. That sounds like it would be really uncomfortable. I do not think that I would like to sleep on gold, actually. Really, hold on, there's no way that's true. But wait, you haven't even heard about his fabled cocaine addiction. Sorry, his what now? You see, old Philippe wasn't just good at squandering the national treasury on gold and ceremonial weaponry. He was also a prodigious snorter of nose candy. You go through a lot of money real quickly that way. Do we think that our version of this character knows what cocaine is? Probably, right? This question doesn't make sense for us. This is a lot to process. His Majesty's courtiers said it helped him connect with the higher realms. Okay, so where's he buried now? Also, I'm not 100% sure. I wasn't paying a ton of attention, but I think the clock just incremented, so us standing here thinking about this statue is still passing time, I believe, which means we definitely don't want to be clicking on everything. Beneath the cold waters of the Insulindian Bay, thrown there by revolutionaries after they cleaned out the royal mausoleum. And what happened to this statue, exactly? Now, the original was blown apart by communards, then further damaged during the landing of the coalition's airships during the turn-of-the-century revolution, when Martinez was leveled. Most historians think the coalition's hasty landing may have ultimately saved the statue. If the communards had had more time, they would have reduced it up to even finer pieces. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, the chunks that we have here are still pretty large. So who restored the monument? Or rather, who is in the process of restoring the monument? Some years ago, a group of liberal, artistically inclined individuals, designers mostly, thought it would be ironic to restore the statue of the most wasteful ruler of Revachol in the poorest part of the city. The statue is supposed to capture the moment it was blown apart, like an instant frozen in time. Oh, okay, it's supposed to look like this. A rare butterfly trapped in amber, floating on a sea of... well, shit. I do think that that's nihilistic, which prevents me from thinking that it's very funny. It's a terrible idea, is what it is. People in Martinez tend to agree, as do many prominent art critics and thought leaders with more nuanced social awareness than the young ironists. Hey, we got XP. Philippe III, the Squanderer, however, with his bronze face up in the air, doesn't seem concerned about what the hoi polloi think of him in death. Yeah, well, I mean, generally people, once you get past that barrier of death, not really concerned with too much. I gotta say, I am generally speaking very suspicious of the motives and, frankly, thoughtfulness of anybody who's way too into irony. As a person who he used to be very into irony, I can tell you, it's brain poison, a little bit. Alright, so what are we doing? I guess let's go back up to our room and attempt the encyclopedia check up there. Right, it was the mirror, where we were trying to figure out where the expression comes from. That was our other check, I think. Aha! Revachol, Oranje. Ah, thank you, game. Thank you very much. Revachol. Okay. This button. This is what I want. Yes. A formidable check in the mirror. Well, I'm pretty formidable some of the time. Once I rolled a 12, you all saw it. There's no reason to think we couldn't do it again. Now she's getting bossy. This isn't even a tip, this is a command. Hey you, SB, here's what you will do. I'm gonna throw caution to the wind. I'm gonna close my eyes when we get to the dark areas. That'll show them. Also, on the subject of the ironists, I think it's a thing that... maybe I'm projecting a little bit here, but a thing that people, I feel like, when they get an idea in their head to do something ironically, sometimes forget, is that you can't do a thing ironically without actually doing the thing. So, balance your intended value against the harm of that. We also have a new check here. Use your chain cutters to fix the faucet. Oh! I don't see... We're taking a -10 because the tool is not in hand. That's kind of weird. Because, like, the way you will deal with that, right, is by closing this menu and then going back and putting the tool in your hand. I suppose maybe a check like this that's in a situation where you couldn't easily repeat it, like a red version of this check or something, is a little more interesting. We have heard about the band OO, and for some reason that gives me a better chance to locate the source of the expression. I guess it comes from the music. Have all of our rolls except for the 12 been below 7? I feel like maybe my character's real bad at dice as well. It belongs in the third decade of the current century. Apparently all the decades get names as well. Enough time had passed from the failure of the revolution that, for a fleeting moment, free market economy seemed like the ultimate uncontested way of life for our species. Oh no. Things were good. It was smooth sailing. People made gold and champagne-tinted interiors and facades to suit the times, calling this the new style. But, more importantly, disco happened. Forget about ostentatious orchestrations. For Revachol, your city, that meant only one thing: Guillaume le Million. If it doesn't rhyme, you're not pronouncing it right. Uh-oh. Guillaume le Million, I guess? Thank you again, game. We had to pass a check for that one, though. Out of the dazzling swirl of disco music in an open-air boîte de nuit, nuit is night, boîte, I think means... It can't possibly mean forest, but something in my brain is telling me this word means forest. Forest is probably a word that is spelled similarly or something. Somewhere in Revachol West, Guillaume's blonde mane appeared on the screen. He sang some bullshit, and then he made the expression. And I guess we saw that, and adopted it? Why? Well, everyone loved it. Maybe you thought some of the stardust would rub off on you. Well, maybe it did. Either way, it's all gone now, and only the grimace remains. Well, it must mean like party or something, right? I feel the need to add a clicking sound when I make it, like... The click is used to spur on a horse. It also features heavily in Guillaume's regional mega hit, Don't Worry, Your Pretty Little Head. Sometimes you like to add finger pistols to the mix. Oh god. I actually, when I made the noise, none of you could see because I don't have a camera, but when I made that noise, I did do finger pistols. Because unlike Guillaume de Le Millon, you are a police officer. It's your nifty little way to say, I'm armed and dangerous. That is a real, that's a menacing motivation there that I did not have. I just want to make it clear to everybody listening. I was not threatening you. How long ago was the new? I mean, we know it's... Shoot, do we know it's 51? We definitely heard... Do we know it's 51, or did we see something that was made in 51? I don't know. I guess I do have to click on this. There's a vast ocean of time between right now and the expression looking good on you, or anyone. 2 decades, if the calendar is to be trusted. Okay, so it's 51 now, maybe. Humanity has run aground in that time. It's a different world now. The expression is a relic. Okay, am I remembering anything else? Like, who am I? Why did I become a cop? Why did I drink myself into oblivion? You have some understanding of the near history of disco, plus the trivia you've picked up along the way. Episodic memory, however, remains in the dark, and it may never return. You should prepare yourself for that. So, does this have anything to do with ostentatious orchestrations? I mean, it must. I got that bonus. Not really. Oh, must have just stirred your mind. They're more like a disco rock band anyway. Okay, associations, that happen sometimes, I guess. Thought gained, Guillaume le Millon. It doesn't have to be. You can swoon over Guillaume and his champagne cork smile whenever you want to. Maybe some of the stardust will return. So wait, I've now... Okay, because we now know the origin of the expression, this check has become easier, which allows us to attempt it again. I mean, we should, right? Also, we should probably fix the faucet. Not that I think this will get us anywhere. I just feel bad. I cannot change my my inventory for right now. So let's put the chain cutters actually in hand. Apparently that's a tool you can wield one-handed. Flashlight in the other, just in case. Look at that. That's what professionalism looks like. He's trying very hard to shine the light where I am pointing, which I appreciate. He understands how the tool is used. Something about that's just very funny to me. There's a farcical quality to it. Okay, let's try to quote-unquote fix the faucet. I mean, they're cutters. It's not really gonna... I done failed it. The chain cutters slip out of your hands as you attempt to twist the faucet into place. Maybe I should have taken off the gloves. Well, you know one thing for sure. You've probably never been a plumber. And I'm gonna go ahead and take a crack at this. Why not? Doesn't seem like there's any penalty for failure. Hey, look, we rolled all the way up to 7. Still not happening. Won't come off that easy. So I'm assuming that it's not... It says here, put skill points into electrochemistry to open this, but I'm assuming checks become available again whenever you do anything that would make them easier. Maybe this one's kind of a special case. Look how much more professional we look with these gloves and this flashlight. And Kim says nothing about it. Alright, actually, could I get through this door now? I wonder, now that I have some tools. No, he is not willing to, try to break through the door. Okay, so we talked to the station. We have no idea who we are or where we live. We haven't figured out a way to get the body down. We can at least go back there and open up that trash receptacle, though. Maybe we'll find some other cool stuff in it. Have we spoken to him again yet? We did, right? Well, let me look at my log. We have a log for exactly this purpose. So right, I still have to pay for damages. Ask your station for additional funds is listed as an objective. I guess we'll do that. At the rate we're going, it would take us an awfully long time to build up the amount of money he wants. So call Sylvie using Kim's shortwave. Yeah, I can do that. Get in there, inspect the body. I thought I had already... you need to first suppress the urge to throw up. And then also, we'll do the other thing. We'll sing that karaoke at some point. So we have this thought. Right now... Oh, interesting. While we're thinking about that, our head is in the clouds. Okay, well, we'll think about that later. I don't have any idea what all this is, actually. This is our thought cabinet, but like the UI is arranged in a way that suggests significance. That's alright. Being baffled by the systems of the world is, again, just sort of in character. The theme on that pinball machine is a standard royalist theme, used on everything from pinball cabinets to full-flavor cigarettes. Okay, what are its hallmarks? Clinging to a picture book version of the past century, waiting for the king to come back and cast out all the profiteers and homosexuals. You know, the past. Basically, imagine a yellow plastic crown with a liquor brand emblazoned on it. You know, I think I would rather know more about the world of today, thank you. The contemporary period stands still. That's how it always feels when you're in it, I guess. The fated carousel of progress that doomed the royalists is itself winding down. Our time is decelerating. Into what, no one knows. I will say, that is not a way that I feel about the current time. If anything, it feels like we've maybe over-accelerated, and there's no hope of it ceasing. Don't be afraid to say weird things. People are more forgiving to persons of power. Boy, I wish that weren't the case. Alright, well, we'll go break into that garbage receptacle, and then I guess we'll go back to the radio, call the station up and see if they'll help cover this as an operating expense, and then, is this ever going to load if I don't... It does seem like maybe that's causal, doesn't it? Okay. This thing. Let's have at it. Also, now that I have a weapon, maybe I could brandish it at these children? That's not, Oh, I need to be equipped with the correct tool. The correct physical instrument. Hold on a second. That's not the right button. Here we go. Pry bar. Never putting away the flashlight. Never, ever, ever. Okay. 8 whole %. I am not great at physical strength. That was actually a pretty good roll. Force time isn't happening. You've jammed the pry bar into the lid, but it just isn't bending. What the fuck kind of metal is this? This is fucking shit! The quality of metal is not the problem. From what I see, it's sturdy enough. Yeah, alright. I guess we could... Yeah, let's try to apply a little bit of leverage here. Hang from the pry bar with all your weight. I'm just gonna break my pry bar, aren't I? We'll come back later. Let's ask the manager for the key. This is clearly not working. Yeah... I had such high hopes. Apparently mechanical advantage not enough to overcome my my very thin arms. So we need to look at all of the street signs and addresses. This is a thing that I remember. Street sign reads, "Fuck the police." Well, it's not exactly what I was hoping for. Alright, let's use this radio while we're here. Pick up the radio again. This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you? I need you to connect me to a civilian, a Sylvie. She may have reported a murder. Of course. What is her number, officer? Kim, didn't Garte give you Sylvie's number? Yeah, hold on. The lieutenant takes a look at his notes. Her number is this string of numbers that you don't need me to read to you. Okay, it's taken a minute. I guess just keep waiting patiently. Try not to seem any stranger to Kim than I absolutely have to. Lieutenant Kitsuragi slowly begins to tap a little rhythm with his right foot. Quite a lot of time has passed. Oh no, I failed to blend in. Boy, this is taking a minute, huh? Officer, she finally returns. I have Sylvie Malaika on the line for you. Total guess there. How do you pronounce I with some kind of diacritical mark and then another I? It's all very confusing. Yes, hello. A female voice greets you through the static. It sounds like she's million miles away from here. Some words missing. Okay. Yeah, hi, this is the police. I have some questions for you about your last days at work. Oh, right. She recognizes your voice almost immediately. This must be a terrible disappointment for her. Hello, officer. What can I do for you? Was it you who called the police? No, not me. Okay, so why didn't you call? Didn't a corpse behind your workplace bother you? What? Of course it bothered me, but I thought the union already knew about the corpse. Now, I meant us. You should have called the police. No one calls the police. You can hear her adjust the receiver in her hand. The union would get angry. Oh, what do you mean by that? You know, she seems to be looking for words. What the union says goes. People listen to them and they take care of their own, which is like everyone here. Wait, Kim, lower the microphone. Is she speaking the truth? The union is the law around here? Legally, no. In reality, yes. He looks around. Martinez is de facto policed by the dockworkers union. Okay. That's good to know. I wonder if the dockworkers union is the power that Kim was referring to earlier, when he said we shouldn't mess with those kids. Alright. Let's go back to talking to Sylvie. So tell me, why exactly did you let a corpse hang in your own backyard for weeks instead of calling us? I didn't want to get in trouble with the others. Push her further. Show her the error of her ways. Authority's got a real menacing grimace there. I don't think we're going to get anywhere by pulling rank on her. She clearly already doesn't think the police are as scary as the union is, and I am not police relative particularly scary. Yeah, okay, I see. Don't worry about it. I understand. Oh, you do? She sounds relieved. So what else can I do for you? Well, do you know who did make the call? No, sorry, I don't. She clears her throat. Not a lot of people have phones around here. The copper thieves take the wires. People don't have the money to have the cables put in again. They use the union's phone, or the one on the coast. So the union has a phone, and there's one further down the coast. Got it. Oh, it was someone else. The lieutenant makes a note. Well, we'll find them sooner or later, officer. It just might take a while. Okay, next question then. We'll get to these, but maybe let's pretend to be competent for a minute. Just get her comfortable with us. So you quit your job at the Whirling. Why? You mean, why did I leave the bar? You can hear her tense up on the other side. Honestly, I'm not really comfortable discussing that with you, sir. Well, we could ask her this and maybe she'll think that we get it and she'll feel more comfortable talking. I don't think just pressing her directly is going to work. But if I make her feel like we're somebody that understands... Okay, did you leave because of Garte? What? She stops abruptly. No, why would you even think that? Sylvie, don't be afraid of that pig. You have to stand up for yourself. Now, this response, this doesn't read to me like she's trying to cover it up. She seems actually surprised. Well, he told me he asked you out. Are you saying it didn't happen? Please don't bring Garte into this. It's none of your business. God, why can't you just mind your own business, she mutters. Apparently I have tight enough hearing to hear that, even though she's saying it under her breath. I already said I don't want to talk about this. You're messing everything up again. Okay, let's not push her on that anymore. By any chance, have you seen my badge? Yes, I know who you are. You're a police officer. The law. Oh god, I wonder if before the blackout I was going around actually saying to people that I am the law. This exact conversation has happened before. Establishing authority before this young girl seems to have been important to you in the past. Don't go there again. That's interesting. No, you don't understand. My badge is missing. Have you seen it anywhere? Oh, no, I haven't. Sorry. Real policemen have uniforms too, by the way. Where's yours? No, hey, Kim's not wearing a uniform. Maybe. Actually, maybe this is the uniform? I'm not sure. Kim doesn't have a uniform, and he seems real to me. He's in plain clothes. Voluntarily. It's different from not knowing where your uniform is. Yeah, but these are my plain clothes. It's okay. Have you seen my gun by any chance? Please, no. Not this again. Everyone saw your cool gun, detective. She sounds beyond exacerbated. That's probably supposed to be exasperated? Well, I showed you my gun. When did it happen? You were trying to impress some people with it. Everyone was eating and... She stops hesitantly, not sure if she should continue. And what? What did I do? You were waving it around in everyone's face, begging them to describe it. You said it calms you. And then you started making suicide jokes. It got pretty graphic. Oh, those again. I've been trying to wean you off them. Parts of my brain are really trying to save me from the other parts of my brain. Off of what? You know, when you put your actual gun on your temple and pretend to shoot your brains out. Off of that. People don't like that. Wait, I remember this. You were screaming things like, "My brains are all over the walls, painting them red. I won't be seeing it, because these are my brains. I can't see without my brains." Very nice visuals there. Oh, okay. So what do I say to her? This thing, number 2 here, is way more unsettling. I'm going to make her very uncomfortable. Okay, yeah, I remember it. But what happened to my gun? We're just going to keep moving. No idea. All I know is next you're waving around money instead, saying things like, "Big bucks cannot lie, and guns can't buy money, but money can always buy guns." I mean, that's just objectively true. It almost looked like you pawned it, but believe me, I did not ask. Ah, yeah, sure, I might have pawned my gun. That actually sounds a lot like our character. Have you by any chance seen my policeman uniform? Uniform? Well, I never saw you in any uniform. You had your things on. The disco things. Okay, hey, maybe I was here undercover. And then I was waving my gun and badge around because I'm an idiot. Alright, I think I've got everything I need, thanks. I do hope so. Please don't call me again. She's ready to hang up. We should definitely go for this empathy check. You've obviously done something to upset her. The whirling in rags when she was still working there. Yeah, I mean, what, beyond all the things we just talked about? Wait, before you go, you're mad at me, right? Tell me, what did I do? I can't remember anything. I'm not mad, it's just... The static sighs again. You were so drunk and so emotional all the time, and then the skua thing happened. It just made me want to quit. Oh shit, I'm the one who made her want to quit. We should probably ask about this, because this might give us a little bit more of an in with Garte if we can apologize for what we did. You know the stuffed bird, the great skua? You threw it against the wall while screaming, "Fuck that bird!" and laughing like a maniac. Yeah, again, sounds in character for us, what we know so far. I think you said it had been giving you shit ever since you got there. Yeah, that sounds like me. It didn't seem like you had fun doing it, though. So, you're telling me that I was the one who made you want to quit? Yes, obviously. You were the worst client I've ever seen, and I have seen so many assholes in this place. I've had sailors fighting, union guys grabbing my ass, kids stealing booze. Once a guy was glued to the karaoke machine every night for 2 months. But you... Oh man, there's more, huh? Alright, go on. I want to know what I did. Well, you were worse than all of them. Honestly, you were getting borderline aggressive. Even about little things, like not turning down the volume at 3 a.m. I even liked one of those songs you kept listening to on repeat. No more, I hate it now. Oh, hold on, which song? We Go On by the O.O., she sighs. I can't listen to it anymore, you've turned it into a parody. Yeah, sorry about the song. To hell with that song. Then there was your room, your project, an experiment to see how bad it can get in there. I tried to send the cleaner, but you wouldn't let me, threatened to make me understand. I had no idea what you meant, and I do not want to know. And then you screamed something about how you're a piece of shit human being, and why does anyone even let you work as a policeman, that you'd fire yourself, but you can't even do that. Yeah, that sounds intense. And then I had to deal with your toilet, the one you clogged with police documents, causing water damage downstairs in the kitchen. Oh, that sounds really bad, actually. Now, I won't even mention you waving your gun around, harassing customers, threatening to sing karaoke, threatening to kill yourself. Okay, well, you kind of already did mention those things. Wait, police documents. Yeah, the ones I had to wrench out of your toilet. What happened to them? I don't remember what I did to your damn papers. I don't remember every little thing I do. Resentment gives way to concern in her voice. Especially when there's a hurricane loose. It's your fault for losing them, not mine. Something in you wants to immediately forget about this, as if there was a reason you threw them away. Okay, that's interesting. We're going to have to re-examine that later. Alright, look, I get it. I wasn't a very good tenant. No, you really weren't. You were simply the worst. Yeah, I was just trying to show you the world of tomorrow. Am I trying to drive her to suicide? Listen, I'm very sorry about all that. It sounds like I really suck. God, I knew I shouldn't have brought it up. Just try not to call me again, and let's pretend it never happened. Yeah, that seems like a good idea. I don't think that it really helps us to say this to her, but maybe we should go to Garte and tell him that he was not responsible for her leaving. I'm just thinking, like, if we can get him to feel a little bit better about things, maybe he'll let me slide on the bill. What else did I sing besides the OO? I'm looking for a song. Oh, all sorts of things. Some disco, rock too. So much disco and rock. Was I singing The Smallest Church in St. Seine? Yeah, that's the one you like to sing along to the most. The later it got, the more that one came on. Interesting. Still have to find a copy, though, before you can blast it. Alright, well, thank you for talking with me. Take care. That was a long conversation. You hear a sigh of relief on the other end of the radio. Wordless, the call breaks. Then, the already familiar voice. Anything else I can help you with, officer? Yeah, I'm not real happy about this, but connect me to the 41st again. Okay, hey Jules, I'm in dire need of financial assistance. 10-4, I hear you. I don't have the authority to grant your request, but... What does he want now? He's asking for money? Is he fucking kidding? I don't think he is, no. Don't give that asshole anything. He's just gonna drink it all. Yeah, it's a fair cop. Alright. The operator turns back to you. That's a negative on the additional funds, sir. Over. Okay, definitely should not go with this one. Listen, it's paramount to the investigation that you grant me more money. He says it's important to the case? He isn't getting a red cent, you can tell him that. Request denied, sir. Okay, yeah, I got it. Well, that's kind of how I thought it was going to go, but it was worth checking. Let's not mess with Kim's car. Any further than we already have, that is. Okay, so... maybe we should go check the toilet or the area around the toilet. Maybe there'll be some documents remaining that could be useful to us. But let's have a chat with Garte first. See a container you can't open? Equip pry bar, but maybe like lift some dumbbells or something first. Alright. What do we have in here? Yeah, we still have all this stuff. Well, we tried asking for additional funds. We're just gonna have to make the real ourselves. Somehow. I don't know. It's a lot of money. Maybe we could rob somebody. Is the trash container out back yours? Let's start here. Mine? No, it belongs to the Whirling in Rags. Thank you for clearing that up. Why do you keep the container locked? Why? To keep the hobos and drunks out, that's why. And the neighbors, too. They put their trash there, and they don't pay for the garbage company. I thought as much. And are you the only party with access to the trash container? Well, yes, us and the garbage disposal company. Seems a little callous, doesn't it? Something stirs in you. No, it doesn't. Nothing stirs in me, and it isn't callous, it's common sense. No, it is callous. He's being a weird dick about, like, people need places to throw stuff away. I wonder what this feeling is. Prod at him and find out. Doesn't it seem callous to you, guarding even your leftovers from the poor? Here's the thing. As much as it is absolutely, like... it doesn't help him any to keep people out of the garbage. I know he's not going to feel that way about it. Let's just jump straight to, we need those keys. What do you need them for? It concerns the case. The lieutenant's voice is harsh and sudden. Please cooperate. He takes the keys from under the counter and hands them to you. Just bring them back once you're done, please. Yeah, also, I've seen something here at the Whirling, a thing I need to talk about. Is that true? He rolls his eyes. What thing? I saw a sign that said I couldn't go into the kitchen. Why can't I go into the kitchen? What are you, a cook now? That's none of your business. Hey, maybe I am a cook. If I say I have a search warrant, what do you think the odds are he's going to ask to see it? Here, let's try this way. but there may be something pertinent to the investigation in the kitchen? He rolls his eyes. He wasn't pan-fried, he was lynched. What could the kitchen possibly have to do with... And then he changes his mind. Fine, okay. The kitchen is closed until... By the way, thank you to the people in the comments who told me how people say these times. Apparently, it's not unreasonable to just say, like, 13 or 13 o'clock, but also people do say 1 as though it, just converting to the 12-hour system. The kitchen's closed till that time, because the cook is working. You can snoop around after that, if you must. I also saw a sign that said the mess hall is reserved for the Union. Yes, not the whole damn Union, thank God, just the nastiest and loudest faction. He tosses his head in disdain. They come here in the evenings, dumb, unruly types, think they're big shit. But they're good customers, they place big orders, and they always pay on time. He gives you a meaningful nod. Kim gives you a meaningful nod. We should find out who this loud faction is, occupying the booth. Loudness means talkative, and we need info. So how do we find them? Oh, I don't know. We wait until they come over here, probably? No, we don't. We have to wait. They'll show up sooner or later. He looks toward the booth. Men are hungry, even striking men. If not today, then they'll be here tomorrow. Okay, but that's a much later in the day sort of thing. There are these things called days. You sleep between them. Even my logic center is a little bit condescending to us. He's saying they'll come after you've slept. Just making clear you got that. Yeah, okay. Alright, is there something else I want to talk about? Not really. We definitely should not tell him about our plans to sing karaoke. He is not going to like that. Alright, well, let's go open up that garbage receptacle. Maybe something was thrown away that's relevant to the case. And then I guess we can see about getting the body down? It should, in theory, be possible for me and Kim working together to get that body out of that tree. Even if the tree ladder won't support us, like one of us could just climb it, or, I don't know, we could take turns throwing the chain cutters at the rope until we get it. Okay, let's try this one more time. I can't imagine we're going to fail a check to put the keys in. Can I please... No, can I not? I would like to interact. There we go. Open the padlock with the key. With a well-oiled crack, the lock pops open. Should be possible to simply raise the lid. No, don't. Maybe you shouldn't. Oh, maybe I already know what's in here, and this is part of me falling apart. What's this? Just a feeling. A warning from some part of you. A warning that I'm going to disregard. Open the lid. The smell of rotten food rises to greet you. You see soggy cartons, dirty rags, and organic waste. We're just in time. The lieutenant peers in. This hasn't been emptied for over a week. Well, let's start looking under stuff. You see milk and egg rest with one broken egg in it, some pasta wrapper. Picking up the soggy packages somehow feels familiar. Glad I'm wearing gloves. Yeah, you've done this before. Your movements are recorded in your elbows, the methodology in your fingers. You're used to this. Used to what? Dumpster diving? I think they mean this particular dumpster. No, searching for evidence in the trash. Well, let's go further. A box falls into pieces in your hands. Batiste Soleil cereal. There are plastic pasta packages below, and turbo noodles. Nothing of note, however. Pick at the rags. Among the threadbare kitchen towels, something catches your eye. A pair of denim trousers. Grab them, and then don't put them on, resist the urge. As the legs of the slime-covered jeans begin to unspool from the garbage, a rank corpse smell fills the air. The victim's clothes. The lieutenant smells them. Cadaverine odor is faint. If these belong to the deceased, they were removed when he was still in the early stages of decay. The lieutenant produces a black plastic bag marked evidence from his pocket. Drop them in here, officer. Kim quickly searches the jeans. Guitar mark blue jeans. Pockets empty. Or emptied. He wore them with a belt, too, a wide belt. The loops appear stretched, but... The belt is missing. That's it. Do you have anything else in there? I have another bag here. Something slimy catches your eye. Man, alright, let's reach for it. A drab long-sleeved shirt, olive-colored, appears from the food waste, dripping with pus. Lovely. Bag that as well. And this is a military-type overgarment. No label or serial number. This is the kind of rib-knit shirt that's worn over light armor to conceal it in an urban scenario. He nods to himself. Anything more? The rest of the rags are just kitchen variety waste. A yellow old mug catches your eye, but other than that, a thrown-out towel, a mug, that's all. Alright, we should go to Garte again and ask if he knows who put the clothes in the trash. It could be as simple as someone from the hostel cleaning the yard, or that one. He nods toward the red-haired boy behind him. I'd advise against confronting that force. You think someone from the Whirling might have been involved, maybe? Not really. All we know is the victim's clothes are in the trash, the lid was locked, and this establishment had the key. It's just a small, loose thread. Let's not even recommend asking the kids who put them here, because first of all, why would we think they've been here all week? And secondly, I just don't want to talk to them ever again. Alright, let's search some more stuff. The food waste. It's just organic waste, cold and slimy on your hands. Apple and potato peels mostly, unidentified sludge, and the occasional chicken bone thrown in for good measure. But hey, what's this? Yeah, what? A blue piece of plastic sticks out from the apple peels. It's shiny. Looks like the corner of something. Something larger. A clipboard. A blue plastic clipboard with moist papers hanging from it. They look badly damaged, but you can still make out forms and notes, written in a man's handwriting. Officer, is that your paperwork? To be honest with you, Kim, I don't know what this is. Oh good, we did it. Secret task complete. It is, look. He points to the clipboard. The plastic has the RCM street grid on it. You even got an autopsy form in there. A miserable-looking slip of paper sticks to the board. If you don't mind my asking, how could you have let your paperwork end up in the trash? So, we discovered something, right? Something that was so upsetting that we tried to get rid of all the documents concerning it. Maybe it was a threat, So the Dock Workers Union sounds like they might be a little organized crimey. Maybe we found something that they didn't like that we found, and they made a threat on our lives that was credible enough that we panicked. It does have a great foreboding quality to it. Maybe I needed to lose it for the great bloodletting to begin. Maybe I didn't want to be a cop anymore. That's why I tried to flush my cop life down the toilet. These both seem like useful things to say. Let's go this way. Again, trying not to freak Kim out just yet. Well, he doesn't know what to say. Lucky we found it. You should take stock of what remains, just to be sure some has not made it into the hands of RCM's adversaries, organized crime and the like. There might have been police secrets in your notes. Yeah, okay. It would also not hurt to start taking notes on the case. He peers into the trash where soggy cartons and rags stink uninvitingly. Now, tell me what your eagle eyes see, or are we finished? I should not have made him realize that I am better at looking for stuff than he is, so we're never going to hear the end of that. Alright, well, we may as well take that mug. You pick out a broken mug with an oddly racist depiction of the yellow man frolicking in saffron. An antique? Only in its social sensibilities. Should we take I mean, I guess I literally don't have a choice. The man briefly glances at the mug, then returns his sight to the trash. Yeah, sorry about that, Kim. You know what's evidence is the thing? The container sounds a muffled gong as we close it. Well, that's one thing off the list. The lieutenant sounds relieved. I think we got it all. I sure hope so. I don't want to dig around in the trash anymore. So let's have a look at that ledger, shall we? Oh, all of the interactable things are going to be put in one part of our inventory. That's nice. This is the ledger you found in the trash. It's full of notes written in a man's dense cursive. Have a closer look. Maybe it can be salvaged to start keeping notes on the case. It's the ledger you found in the trash. A pitiful cabbage of white and yellow papers hanging from plastic board, barely held together by a metal clip. This sad display is made complete by the faint smell of urinal cleaner. Yeah, anything else? Oh, there's a piece of toilet paper. Or is it a cleaning tissue? No, it's toilet paper. Desperately sticking to the back of the blue plastic clipboard. It's a metaphor. For you. Lovely. Alright, inspect the toilet paper. I mean, I guess we gotta get all the clues here, right? It's just toilet paper, sticking to the back of the plastic clipboard. You can take it off if you want. It feels like I should take it off. Maybe it's kitchen tissue? Like napkins? I'm not familiar with the phrase kitchen tissue as a way of describing paper. Yeah, I mean, let's investigate a little bit, I guess. If you want it to be kitchen tissue, it can be kitchen tissue. Maybe like more of a paper towel, sort of. It's not, though. It's toilet paper, based on the smell. Lovely. Please take that off. I don't know why that was worth experience. Still wet, the toilet paper, kitchen tissue, sorry, peels off the plastic easily. All you have to do is shake it off your finger, and voila! The ledger now looks marginally better. I'll just go down the list here. An aluminum block runs the width of the board, biting down on the paperwork. Its crocodile teeth are the only thing keeping the papers together. A regular pencil, the tip worn down to nothing, has been attached to the clip. Run your finger across the aluminum. Why wouldn't I? The surface is interrupted by a silvery sticker. It's rectangular, sparkling with iridescence. Don't know how you didn't notice it before, so this is another one of these halogen watermarks. Looks like an official mark made to be low visibility outside the right circumstances. It is similar to the RCM watermark on your blazer the lieutenant mentioned. Didn't he say something about the headlights of his motor carriage? That you can read these there? Oh, yeah, okay. Lieutenant, is this one of the hologram watermarks you mentioned? What? He's lost in his own notes. It takes a moment for him to see it. Yes, a halogen watermark used for adding information to RCM property. What kind of information? Depends. Aside from an anti-counterfeiting stamp, mine has my station number and address. The information varies by date of issue. Oh, maybe yours will have how many cases you've solved. I don't know if that's a number that I want to know. So, how can I read it? Any capable light with the right wavelength will do. Like the headlights of your Kanima. Yes. There's a pause. RCM vehicles have headlights tuned especially to reveal halogen watermarks. That's actually a pretty smart idea. It means you can read the watermarks if you just turn the lights on. Thank you, interfacing skill, for explaining that thing to me. Alright, let's start browsing through. Start with the white papers. Well, they're not exactly white. They're yellowed in patches by sunlight and alcohol, and covered in dense blue handwriting. Ink escapes into watercolor patterns, reaching its tendrils across entire pages. The paper itself is checkered with faint red lines, forming short paragraphs. Once in a while, there's a red stamp that exclaims, "Case files, commit to paper." The case files themselves are plenty. You count more than 100 sodden, crumpled-up, earmarked pages falling apart in your hands. They appear to be sufficiently organized and extremely dense, if mostly illegible. That's a tremendous amount of information. That's more paper than it looked like in the icon. So, what is in there? What are they about? Work, strife, poverty, the Jamrock Quarter. These are handwritten logs of investigations dating back to January 51, this year. The exact number is hard to estimate due to missing pages and an odd naming convention, but there are at least 20, maybe 30 cases. Undertaken, not completed, mind you. It's the middle of March. You've attempted 2 cases a week on average. What do you mean? Is that all? Wait, that's it? The notebook is annual. It says 51 on what remains of its cover, a molten strap of cardboard. Everything prior to this must have belonged to a previous volume. In short, there was more. Is 2 cases a week a good caseload, Lieutenant? Huh? He raises his nose from his notes. 2 complex cases to undertake is a lot, yes. You really have to push yourself. I would not suggest it, lest you start making mistakes. Well, 2 cases a week appears to have been my load, Lieutenant. I'm not sure I completed them, though. 2? He raises both eyebrows. That's a lot. I didn't mean to say you're making mistakes, by the way. That was presumptuous of me. It does kind of feel like I made a lot of mistakes. I'm not necessarily basing that on a ton of evidence, but, I burned out all right. That's okay. He nods, then turns back to his own case files. We all do, sooner or later. Like a fan of gills, the checkered papers dry in your hands. The handwriting is extremely hold on, I read that already. So there was mention of a a naming convention here? Yes, it appears you employ a, shall we say, robust yet literary system. Each investigation has its case number written on the margins. Yet, still more tellingly, most are accompanied by a name. A title, one might say even. One that draws inspiration from Snoop fiction and Vespertine cop show staples. Oh my, and they're written in capital letters, too. Yes, all caps. One is called The Next World Mural. Another, The Square Bullet Hole Murders. Another yet, The Unsolvable Case. Alright, let's look at some more. Others appear more lighthearted. The Guys on a Couch in an Unexpected Location, and The Murder at the Hookah Parlor. Even the rare article-free Collapsing Tenement. Murder features prominently throughout. Well, yeah, I'm probably a homicide detective, right? It's going to take an effort to piece these case files together, but it can be done. Later, once you're done inspecting them up close. Should I talk to Kim about my ridiculous naming convention? Here's the thing, so if Kim's going to be accompanying us around for a while, it probably is necessary to let him in as much as possible on what I don't know, so he doesn't go making assumptions that might get one or both of us killed. But I also don't want him to think I'm any more of a failure than I absolutely have to let him think. I'm gonna skip this one. Alright, count the pages. I have to open an official case. Is there room left? There is, for precisely one more. 15 pages near the end remain untouched by the damage. The checkered grid forms a structure of passages, breaking the case down into subtasks to accomplish. Once all the tasks are accomplished, the case is complete. Commit to paper. Sadly, the ledger only comes with an old worn-down lead pencil. It's unfitting of this monumental event. And it does seem like I like to write in blue pen. The ledger only comes with an old worn-down lead pencil. It will do, barely, but it is a little weird that I assumed that this was a typo. It's weird that it appears a second time, though. It's making me wonder if I am mistaking... whatever. Hey, Kim, do you got a pen? The lieutenant looks at his blue notebook. 2 fat, shiny pens hang from the binder, like large-caliber bullets on an ammo belt. He is not really saying anything, just standing there, looking at them. Can I have one? Know that I give this to you, he pulls one from the loop, with resentment. Alright, with this beauty, commit to paper. The tasks you've completed flow out of the blue oblong pen in a brash freehand, uncannily similar to the rest of the letters. The wording comes easily. It's almost robotically simple, a language developed for mental rigor and simplicity. Inspect victim's body. Interview cafeteria manager. It's not exactly poetry, but poetry would be out of place. So let's cross out the bottom one, I suppose. A satisfying slash sounds across the paper. You're done, it seems to say. And you. And you. You're a swashbuckler with that pen, Harry. And it feels good. Feels like completion. Was that supposed to be a You're a Wizard, Harry reference? Or did part of my brain just let slip that I know my name is Harry? What was the fake name I gave? The name I made up? It was much sillier than that, right? I don't think Harry was the first part of it. Things to be done and things already done. The composition of reality. This is an extremely useful tool for a detective of the Citizens Militia. Now all that remains is to name the case. Lieutenant, have you by any chance named our case? No, actually. Any ideas? I wonder if this is implying that the naming the cases thing is common on the Force, and if I had told him that, he wouldn't have been weirded out. How about... Well, that quote at the beginning of the game did say the Furies are at home in the mirror. The Hanged Man is maybe a little on the nose. I like the tarot imagery of it, though. The Setting Sun... I mean, it fits thematically with the fact that there's only room in the casebook for one more case, and the fact that I feel like I might die at any moment. Let's go that way. Okay, he nods. It's a good name, but it has one problem. This case has nothing to do with the setting sun. At all. It has nothing to do with that, so... Something more concrete, perhaps? Do you have something concrete, mundane, usual? That's not really how I generally roll, but fine. How about the Hanged Man? Great, that's great. It's actually what I was thinking too. The Hanged Man. Good, strong name. We have a very good name for the case now. I'm going to keep calling it the Setting Sun, though. He flips the pages of his notebook. I'm going to start calling it the Hanged Man. It's good we sorted this out. So, Kim, all my cases employ a naming convention similar to what we used on ours. I really appreciate stuff like this. It's like there's a version of this thing for if you haven't yet named the case, and it makes room for you to have not chosen that choice then, but then to come back to it now and have it still changed by the context of the situation, which maybe doesn't sound like a big deal, but it is definitely a thing that a lot of these games do not do. Yes, how very childish of you, he mumbles. In your and my defense, almost everyone in the RCM uses the titular system, in addition to the official alphanumeric. Why is that? That's a holdover from the early days of the RCM, right after the Revolution, when the organization had little idea how to do things. It persists in an unofficial capacity. Officers use these titles to refer to their work among themselves. Yeah, I seem to have a case called the Square Bullet Hole Murders. Again, in your defense, I seem to have one. I seem to have named one, he peeks into his notes, the man with the hole in his head. That was a real person. His death was real, and still I named it that, to amuse myself. He smiles. I pray his loved ones never find out. What happened to him? Rail spiked through the head. He died. It was a workplace accident. Oh, okay. Well, I think we're done with these, the white parts at least. You don't exactly close them, so much as distance yourself from the smelly papers. They're a little further from your nose now. So can I read the case files now that we've sort of figured out everything about them? Yes, you can piece them together using the alphanumeric code on the margin. It always begins with HDB 41, then date of initialization and time of arrival on the scene, followed by the title. For example, HDB 41, 120, okay, numbers, etc., the next world mural. So, I wonder if HDB is maybe our initials? Maybe Harry is my first name? I mean, I guess that's not a great policy, because what if two officers are hired at the same station with the same initials? Wait, HDB 41? Weren't those officer precinct? Hey, look at that. Getting ahead of myself. Why, yes, your precinct number is 41, and HDB... Every last alphanumeric in the files begins with it, and these are your files. It's safe to say HDB are your initials. I wonder if there is a way that we could have found... I mean, we probably could have figured out our name by now, and so that bit of dialogue that said Harry earlier was probably not intended to be shown to us unless we got that. Maybe it's just like a little bug. Alright, so HDB are your initials. My suspicion is that neither of these are correct. I don't know, man. Those aren't my initials. I'm not feeling them. Or, I think what you meant to say was RAC, Raphael Ambrosius Cousteau. You know, maybe I'll just stick with this. It's kind of growing on me. No, the alphanumeric begins with HDB. Can't you see the sire is tired of these fabrications? RAC is clearly what it says on the case files. These are official documents. There's no arguing with official documents. Uh-oh. I clicked on that sort of as a joke, but I'm worried that I'm beginning to delude myself. Actually, I'm ready to admit that I'm not Raphael and go on with my life. Am I, though? Our version of the detective has a flair for the dramatic. I kind of like it's a very dumb name, but it's dumb in a way that I kind of enjoy. I suppose, if my goal here is to figure out what happened, I shouldn't start with intentional self-delusion. I'm ready to admit I'm not Raphael and go on with my life. That's comforting to hear. Now, detective, it takes half an hour to piece one of these together, if you still want to. Okay, maybe this is not a good time for it then? I can revisit these. Let's try to get the body down and deal with all this stuff. We'll have time later, I'm sure. Not much has changed in the meanwhile. A bunch of sodden papers still sags from the clipboard. Alright, what about these yellow papers? In the back, you see thin, translucent copier paper. Some neon yellow, some bright red. All covered in boxes, like marching armies. These look like official forms, waiting to be filled out. Then rip them from the binder and hand them out, according to type of form. Sorry, what types of forms are there? 3. The topmost are misconduct fines, the middle ones are station calls, and the bottommost are field autopsy forms. Each is easy enough to make sense of. You don't have to be an intellectual giant to do police work. Let's look at these misconduct fines. I'm wondering if we could assess an official penalty to these children and get them to run away. A monetary penalization ranging from 20 to 250 real. Severe cases allow up to 1,000, but that requires special paperwork. The details of issuing these fines are spread out over the rest of the fields. But they appear pleasantly vague. Alright, what about the station call forms? These are quite sinister in tone. They give a date and time for the person to appear at the specified precinct police station. Below the call are the criminal charges you risk by not appearing. All in a print so small it could be considered downright cute. Alright, and the field autopsy forms. 12 pages of thin copy paper, bright red in color. You see the parameters of a deceased human form, waiting to be filled in. Age, sex, condition of internal organs. Okay, I think I get it. All that remains now is to fill those forms and hand them to people. Fines for wrongdoers, interview requests for bad guys, and field autopsies to dead guys. What delicious power within this pathetic mess. You feel better. Interesting that we gained health, but we did not gain a charge of health. I don't really understand the charges system yet. The rest of the stinking cellulose is much worse for the wear. Being sandwiched between the board and the rest of the paperwork must have spared the fragile copier paper. Alright, let's look at the clipboard itself. It's made of dark blue plastic, hard enough to beat someone to submission with. The edges are rounded, however. The U4-sized board feels thick and heavy in your hands. Light shimmers on its wet surface. On the back you see the embossed letters RCM. Well, let's try to shake the gross water off of it. Something rattles inside, ever so lightly. Is there a hidden compartment? And something small inside, light, made of paper or cardboard. Or dried flowers, perhaps. Permeables. It's not hidden, per se. The compartment is made for permeable materials that would get damaged if something happened to it. Well, let's look in there. The plastic shimmers like lapis lazuli, but it is not see-through. You cannot see to its center, so yeah, I would open it then. What, with your hands? U4-sized pages hang from the clip screwed to the top of the board. Yeah. We have -1 interfacing right now because we are so absorbed in our thoughts, but I think I can still make this. Okay, apparently not. Interfacing is not what you end up doing. Squeeze the plastic to slide it open, but nothing happens. Then you bend it some, then crack it. The goddamn thing is stuck. The ledger quivers in your hand as it shakes the pages rustle, this pathetic mess suddenly afraid of you for some reason. Well, alright, we're gonna have to work on that. Do I want to smell the ledger, though? I mean, we may as well. We've been pretty thorough here. The acidic stench of rotting food has rubbed off on the cellulose. It now forms the base of the experience. The base, surrounded by a faint air of spoiled meat, the stuff of death itself, and then sprinkled liberally with the citrus zest of toilet cleaner. You know, like the bits they put into public piss bowls, probably called Fermi-discrete or Axle or something. At some point in its journey, the ledger has seen the inside of a public toilet. Yeah, Sylvie already told me I dunked it in the toilet. If you knew it was dunked in the toilet before getting chucked into the trash, why are you sniffing it? That's actually, like, a very good question. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. The option to sniff it was there, so I clicked it. So you wanted to get in on the the trash toilet stink collab. Find out what happens when those two get funky together? Okay, pal. Are you angry with me, Nose? Yeah, turns out your nose doesn't like self-indulgent literal shit-huffing. Quelle fucking surprise. Come on, no more. The ledger's going back down, away from your nose now. That's fair. Some parts of my brain know better than the parts of my brain that are the player, apparently. Alright, let's have a look at this thing, too. This broken-eared mug somehow made its way into the Whirling in Rags dumpster. It depicts a person of Samaran descent frolicking in a field of saffron flowers. Buck-toothed and grinning feeble-mindedly. They even went with the coolie hat, huh? Full-on stereotype. It seems to be a cheap knockoff of some colonial era antique. Well, we can interact with it, so I suppose we should. Although, what did I just learn from my nose? Too late, I've already clicked it. It's just a racist mug. What's there to read here? Not much. Well, I think there's quite a lot to read into here, actually. Look at all that content. Oh boy, here we go. What are you going to say about a broken, tossed away mug that you dug out of the garbage? This is a fair question. Boy, what was my hope here? I really did just click on the button because there was a button to click on. So now I have to decide on a hope that I should have had before clicking on it. No. Okay, this option is very bad. This mug is an example of prejudice. I'm going to use it as an example of what not to do. What I would really love to do is actually just put the mug down. Why is that not an option? Yeah. This mug will be useful. By denouncing it, I can earn political capital to mask my badass hustling, such as all the fraud I'm going to perform in order to get enough money to pay off the whirling in rags. I'm gonna say this. None of these are good. But it was in the trash. Why not just call it out when you see it, or do some volunteering work? Just finish your case. Yeah, that's fair. I feel bad. Alright, so we have this very fancy pen. A blue pen, like a large caliber bullet that shoots out ink, once belonging to Lieutenant Kitsuragi. Comes with a side order of resentment. Also, you know, it has some monetary value. I suppose I could sell it if it comes right down to it. Alright, well, I don't know if that was a productive hour exactly, but it certainly was an hour. And so, that is going to be it for us for right now. Thank you all so much for watching. Come back later today. This time I mean it. There's going to be at least one more episode here. Thank you all so much for watching in the meantime, and we'll see you then.